I feel like I have to explain this again because there are still some people who have a conceptual misunderstanding of how this bus service works. The general route of the Orchard Express bus services is as follows: CTE, Balestier Momin, Newton, Scots, Orchard. Even the express services in the past, I'm gonna list them all down. This one's express. These are all the city shoppers. And I think this one. There was also a 580 which took a slightly different route. But yeah, you get the idea. But we'll discount it for now. There is a reason why SBS Transit sent every single service down this like unidirectional loop. It isn't designed like that for fun or because like there are some constraints. No, it is intentionally designed like that. Let's break down every single area. Mall, mall. I'm also not surprised if they're heading towards like Bukit Panjang, I mean the general direction, and they take 518 just to skip the eastern sector of DTL that goes through this stupid loop. So they transfer at Newton instead. What else is in this area? $518 gets full. Like around this general area. Or maybe even this area. Most importantly, I've talked about the demographics of this mall before and I don't really want to repeat myself. But do you notice every single one of those express services that I've mentioned, regardless of their price, which I mean sort of like determine their demand that they had in the past. The main thing is that every single bus service, the express bus services, they serve this mall or like Tangs Plaza, the bus stop that is like nearby. 502 serves here as well. Not drawn to scale, but you get the idea. Suntec, Bayfront. One shot, express to the church areas. One shot, express back to Tampines. That is why people take 518. And even if it's not one shot, like their destination, like let's say their destination is like somewhere along here, like along here, it's fine. It is still a direct bus route. Doesn't matter how fast or how slow it is direct. And it is not common to see people on 518, they just enjoy themselves on the upper deck. It is a place for people to connect and bond. Don't underestimate that. As in, like inside the bus itself. As long as, you know, people don't make too much noise, it's fine. I mean, as long as they all have a good time on the upper deck, just chatting away, it's all good. Another one which is quite obvious, You just imagine it as and it's not just limited to the students from this area. It is also the residents as well. And of course, Tampines East. It is the only bus service that offers this kind of connection. Because 2023, at most, it takes you to like Farrer Park and Little India, and then it just loops back. 23 doesn't even touch Dhoby Ghaut. Think about it. How many stops does it take 518 to reach the expressway? All the stops along Avenue 1, I'll just lump them together. One stop at Bedok North Road Extension, which is near the industrial estate. And then another one further down, like near the expressway. And it just goes express. It's the same thing when you board from Bayfront or like Suntec. Express all the way to Bedok North Road. Just one bus stop, two bus stop, and then you go back to Tampines West. Just to illustrate, this is the fastest route out of Tampines. Not here. I mean, technically, this one is quite fast as well, but you give up on the connections over here, which is where a lot of demand from 518 comes from. I would say that most people from 518 actually come from like around here. I've said this before. In order for the service to be sustainable, you have to cut through here. There is no other way to do it. You have to. And the thing is, I'm not saying you make the demand exclusively come from like Temasek Poly, then I don't know, you just send it to like Tampines North. I'm not talking about that. If you want maximum demand from 518, you have to serve this stretch. The other reason which I've talked about before is because Service 8 used to be from Pasir Ris to Toa Payoh, but then it got amended to Tampines, and this is what Service 8 looks like. So because of this, if you could afford it, I've talked about this before, Avenue 7, as well as like Pasir Ris East, people actually do take a direct bus ride to Temasek Poly. Yes, they pay more, but it's direct, so if they can afford it, they would pay. Let's zoom out a bit. This is literally the fastest way. I mean, I know right now there is construction going on, but this is literally the fastest and most efficient way to route the bus service. One big area, one big area, one big area. You could argue that Pasir Ris West is redundant, and I agree. If you want to make 518 have a better fare box recovery rate, cut off this sector. That's all you need to do. Other than that, this is literally already the best way to run 518. If you have ideas on like, instead of sending it into Pasir Ris, I don't know, you want to send it via Drive 6, Drive 4 to Loyang Depot, that's fine also. Let's go macro view, like the entire route. Let's discount this part of the route because we've all ascertained that it is useless. Anywhere you are along the route, literally anywhere, okay, not here, you have a direct bus ride all the way to and from Tampines West, Tampines East, Pasir Ris East, Drive 1. Who doesn't want that? Lucky Plaza, Dorset, Suntec, Dorset, Bayfront, Dorset, Newton and Momin, Dorset. And for first time shoppers especially, you might find it a pain to navigate underground. And this is why it's a good thing that 518, or even 502 for that matter, because it's similar, it passes through Orchard Road, just cuts straight through. The most efficient way just gets you to your destination doorstep. You have a fast and easy access from Tampines West all the way to here. If you're boarding at Bayfront, a quick bus ride back home without having to get on the MRT, because it simply beats MRT. There is no way you can compete with 518 in this regard. And it's not just Bayfront, it's Suntec as well. And like I've mentioned, I like crossed out I made a lot of crosses here. Anywhere you are in this big loop, you have a direct doorstep bus service, is what I'm trying to say. 518 and even 502. I know 502, it used to be sort of bidirectional. It's a loop, but it functioned more or less like a bidirectional bus service. I mean, this is the reason why this unidirectional loop design is intentional. It's not for fun because they have no other way to route the bus. I mean, kind of, but they really have no other way to route the bus, but it is really the most efficient way to route a bus. So yeah,